Hello everybody, on this episode we talk about what you shouldn't do to your home, when to close, homeowners associations, and manscaping. Hello everybody, thanks for joining us. This is Ray and this is the Real Q&A Show. Today we have another very special guest, Chris Ledbetter. He's a lender. Chris, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
So I am Chris Ledbetter with Cornerstone Home Lending, and what I do as a loan officer is help families discover what the correct loan product is for them, what's going to be financially beneficial for their family, and help them understand the process from start to finish, from getting pre-qualified to finding a home, and then help service even after the sale, provide service to those clients and families for life.
True. Well, thanks for joining us on the show.
Thanks for having me.
You look great in the suit.
Thanks.
It's sharp. So without further ado, let's get into the questions.
Billie Jean Shoemaker with Allstate asked, what are some things you should not do to your home before selling it?
What are some of the things you should not do to your home before you sell it? So if you are getting your home ready to sell, a common question that we get asked is, hey, can you come look at my house and tell me what are some things I need to do to get it ready? Most often, people are asking questions like, should we upgrade the countertops and change out the flooring? In general, if you were doing this that close to the sale, you're probably not going to get the money out. So we do a comparative market analysis and we'll take a look at your house compared to the other houses in the neighborhood, and we'll see if those other houses have done similar upgrades. If they have, like let's say you're the only house in the neighborhood with laminate countertops, then I would say upgrading your countertops would be a plus. That's just one example. It could, a myriad of things like that. So really, what you shouldn't do to your house is very dependent on what everyone else around you already has done. Some things you don't want to do is bright colored paints. You want to stay away from that. Go very muted colors, neutral colors. It's a good idea to get it cleaned, basically declutter, depersonalize, and pack. You don't want to really fill your closets with boxes. Instead, try to fill your garage with boxes because people know you're moving. So just start at the back of the garage and start filling it in. So getting rid of a lot of stuff is a positive. So I guess you could say that on the flip side, having a bunch of stuff in your house, you don't want to load your house with a bunch of stuff and then try to sell it. It's just going to be more difficult. So I know it's kind of a vague answer, but really it depends on your house and what everyone else around you has done, because you don't want to over-improve and then try to sell it and you'll wind up being upside down.
So basically it's one of those times where when your mom asks you if everyone's jumping off a bridge, would you do it? And you say yes.
Yes,
Mom,
you would also jump the bridge. Yeah.
Yes. Ryan Roehrenbeck with Pulaski County Title asks, what are the advantages and disadvantages of closing at the beginning or the end of the month?
This is a really great question for Chris Ledbetter. So Chris deals with this question all the time. I get asked the question a lot, and what I do is I say, you know what, that's a great question for your lender. So Chris, why don't you take this one?
So you can divide this question up into, as a buyer, what are the benefits and then the pitfalls, and then also for a seller. So for a buyer, there's one distinct advantage to closing at the end of the month is that you're only going to prepay the interest for that loan that you are taking out to purchase that home. Say if you close on the 31st of the month, you're going to pay interest for that one day.
Right.
So your closing costs would in effect be reduced by a few $100s by closing at the end of the month. However, a disadvantage would be that your first payment is going to begin within 31 days. So in the month, whatever the month is that you close in, say it's July 31st, your first payment will begin September 1st.
Okay.
And if you closed on July 1st, your payment would begin still on September 1st. You'd have a larger window before your first payment began. However, you're going to pay a little bit more on closing costs.
What about for the sellers? That was a good point.
So for a seller, it depends on the loan program that they use to purchase that house with initially. So if they used, for example, an FHA loan, the interest that they have to pay for their closing costs when they go to sell the loan, whenever they go to sell the home, they have to pay the interest on that loan through the end of the month. So if they close on the 1st of July, for example, they're paying interest from July 1st through the 31st.
Oh, wow.
For that FHA loan. So if they closed on the 31st, then they would have no interest to pay, or at least just one day, to FHA because they collect for the entirety of that month, regardless of if you close on the 1st or 31st.
But if it was a conventional loan, because that was the distinguish for the FHA, if it's a
Right.
conventional loan, does it all kind of just prorate? Or?
It would be on the day that you close. You'd pay
Okay.
interest through that.
Cool.
So,
There you go. Another benefit of a conventional loan, too.
right.
Good
Exactly.
answer. I agree with him. What's the next question?
James Ray on Facebook asks, are homeowners associations good or bad for buyers?
That is a great question. It depends on what you want to do, right? So if on your lot you want to put a mobile home behind it, a homeowners association is not going to be so good for you, right?
That's right.
If, however, you generally want the property values to be maintained in that area, then I tend to think that homeowners associations are good for you. Because it's more controlling. There's fewer things you can do with your property. You do give up some freedoms, but in return, you get the assurance that your neighbor is not going to have 20 cars parked in the front yard working on them, which deters buyers depending on the neighborhood. So if you are a shade tree mechanic and you're like, hey, this is a hobby I have, and I want to fill my front yard with Jeeps, which I might love to do that, then you would want to purchase in an area with looser restrictions, probably no homeowners association. If you're looking at property values over the next 5 to 10 years and you're concerned with the return on your investment, I would probably pick somewhere that does have a homeowners association. Even though you're a little bit restricted, everyone's a little bit restricted, and it could do good things for your appreciation.
That's a good answer. Dan Morgan on Facebook asked, what product do you use on your beard? And since I don't have a beard, I know this question is meant for this guy.
Yeah. So yes, beard products. I actually, most of the time, I don't use anything. So a lot of people will use the beard products, and they'll, and it makes your beard shiny and smooth and soft, and that's fine. But really, I think the beard oil is actually for your skin underneath your beard. So if you have normally dry skin and you're growing a beard, you are probably going to need beard oil, and you probably want to rub it deep into your skin because that's going to keep the skin under your beard. This is real. So because, way back when, right, men had hairy faces and we would eat an animal and then we would just kind of do this and the animal fat goes to your skin and it's nice and healthy for you. These days we use really harsh chemicals on our face called soap, right? There's all kinds of stuff in there. And although it's good, now we're having to use moisturizer and all kinds of other things. So it's actually face oil, but it does make your beard shiny and nice and smell good and that kind of thing. But normally I don't use it. Maybe if special occasions or something, I might put it in there because I am already oily, so I don't need anything to add to it. So there you go. So thanks for coming on the show, Chris. We look forward to you growing out your beard and what products you might use in the future.
That's right.
In the meantime, tell everybody where they can find you.
So if you are interested in purchasing a home, refinancing, or just have a general question about the mortgage business, finance related questions, you can reach me through my website at theledbetterteam.com, or you can email me at chris@theledbetterteam.com. So
Cool.
either of those.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me. Thank you guys for your questions. Please keep sending them. You could just drop a comment on this post. You could hashtag RealQA You could send us a message. You could text me personally. However you want to get the questions to us, please keep sending them to us. We love answering them. So thanks for watching.